Okay, 2 to go. Basil M. Russo. Everyone knows Mr. Russo. And like Sam Kim, people were lining up for the honor of inducting Basil Russo. Civic leaders, business leaders, and of course members of the Italian community, both locally and nationally, because as you know, Basil holds 3 leadership positions nationally in the Italian organization. But Basil, like Sam, wanted to make this a family moment, and we think that's a great decision. So, is it Gabriella who's coming up? Gabriella?
So, they had to get 2 Italians to come up here, though, to make this a little bit longer. So, I'm going to speak for half an hour. Gabriella's going to speak for half an hour. It'll be great. Actually, I'm Joe Rosalina. I'm married to Gabriella. So, she asked me to come up and speak as well. Since we've been together for about 27 years now, so almost being together for 3 decades in Basil's family, and for 20 years now, working alongside him at our law firm. When we researched this evening's event, I wanted to read a little bit about the Cleveland International Hall of Fame, and we read that it was established to recognize those individuals who have made a valuable and lasting contribution to our multicultural city and region, and who inspire a generation of leaders. If you've ever heard Basil Russo speak, or heard others speak about Basil Russo, there are 3 common themes that you will more than likely have heard. One, his dedication to his faith, his family, and his heritage. With respect to his faith, our dad has always placed his faith as the bedrock on which he has built his life. He proudly practices his faith, and as a Christian makes every attempt to be a better person for others. His family, I've always said that I thought I had the greatest dad in the world. I never ever thought I'd have the greatest father-in-law in the world as well. Basil truly puts his family ahead of everything and above all else, and has worked endlessly with his wife, my mother-in-law Pat, who's the greatest mother-in-law in the world as well, to create really a wonderful, loving, and happy family. His heritage, and I have to say, before this evening, I really thought that Basil Russo was the only person that really cared about his heritage more than anyone I'd ever seen, but I was proven wrong this evening. Dad, you're still great, but congratulations to everybody here. When you see what he has done for his family, what he did for a law firm for 4 years, and the hundreds of thousands of people that he's served over that time, I just couldn't think that there would be time for anything else. Yet, as Dan had alluded to, he is the national president of the Italian Sons and Daughters of America. I know so many people here from the ISDA, and it's such a group that is so special and close to his heart, one of the largest fraternal organizations in the country. He's also the president of the Justinian Forum Bar Association group of Italian-American lawyers and judges here in Northeast Ohio that my wife Gabriella and I have been a part of for the better part of 20 years as well. And he also sits on the board of directors at NIAF, the National Italian-American Foundation, another very successful and large organization that preserves and promotes the Italian heritage. So in today's world, we hear a lot of our leaders speak of similar values and ideals. The difference that I find in Basil Russo is that he lives his life in accordance with that set of ideals and values, and is really unwavering in his commitment to them. Certainly something that we find inspiring. Our dad has inspired us to become better attorneys, but I think most importantly, and I know my wife agrees, that he's really inspired us to be better parents to our 4 kids, better partners to each other, and better people in our community.
to acknowledge my mother, Patricia. She and my father will be celebrating their 50th anniversary this year. I have trouble believing that myself because they live each day to the fullest as if they're my age. So they inspire me to continually try and do as many things as I can in this world to help others and to do things for others. My mom and dad have the most awe-inspiring union, and they epitomize what a beautiful marriage is. Every public success that my father has is shared equally by my mother. She serves as his inspiration, his sounding board, and his rock. And they truly do everything together and experience all aspects of their life as a true union. And so for my father's contributions to the people of Northeast Ohio, as a public official, as a judge, and a lawyer, and for his contributions to the Catholic Diocese of Cleveland and to the Italian-American community, both locally and nationally, and most importantly, to his family, I'm proud on behalf of my husband and I, our children, my siblings, Angela, Anthony, Joe, and their families. We're all proud to induct him into the Cleveland Hall of Fame, a city that he truly has given his heart and soul to and that he deeply loves.
This is certainly an exciting evening for those of us sitting on the dais. I want to offer my congratulations to each one of these exceptional award recipients. I am indeed honored to be placed in such important company this evening. I'm going to share some thoughts with you in a few moments that are very important to me. But everything I will say pales in comparison to the importance and significance that my family has in my life. I've been extremely fortunate to have been married to a very special woman for nearly 50 years. Together we've been blessed with 4 exceptional children and 12 wonderful grandchildren. I'm often given credit for the accomplishments of our children, but in fact my wife has had a much greater impact on the final products than I have, instilling in them good values and the importance of good education. My wife early on sacrificed her career by working to put me through college and law school. She chose to be a stay-at-home mom at a time when many women were wrongfully made to feel inadequate because they placed child-rearing over the pursuit of a career. My wife began college at age 40, the same year my sons did. She became editor of the Ursuline College Literary Magazine, and she graduated magna cum laude. Don't think that didn't motivate my children. They all had to work very hard to keep their grades competitive with their mothers. And so to my lovely wife, I say thank you for a lifetime I would not have changed 1 minute of. Those of you that have more than one child know that there is always one of the children in the family who gladly assumes the responsibility of taking care of mom and dad. tonight you met ours. To my daughter Gabriella and my son-in-law Joe, thank you for always being there when Mom and I need you. Now I'd like to take a few minutes to share some personal thoughts with you. Each of us in this room has been blessed with our own ethnicity, race, and religion. I've always believed it is an important part of what makes us unique and defines each of us in a very special way. Sadly, in too many places in our world today, we find differences in races, ethnicities, and religions as being looked upon as something which should divide people, something which should cause people to be intolerant of one another, and something that causes conflict among people. How many wars throughout history have been fought because people were of different religions, different races, or different ethnicities? Too many people in America today often look upon our differences as something that causes us to be suspicious of others, something that causes us to mistrust one another. But our country and our collective American heritage stands for something that is much more noble and righteous. We are a nation that prizes and values diversity. We have built our entire country upon our differences. America is the greatest country in the world because it's had the benefit of being able to pick and choose the very best from each of the wonderful cultures that have been brought to our country by immigrants from throughout the world. People of different backgrounds who all shared the common goal of seeking a better life for their families. And through hard work and sacrifice, each of our groups has made meaningful contributions to America that we can all be rightfully proud of. I believe each of us has a responsibility to preserve our respective heritages and to highlight the contributions each of our respective groups have made to our country. I also believe we further have a responsibility to respect each other's contributions and to learn from one another. I've spent a good portion of my life working to preserve the heritage, customs, and values my grandparents and other Italian immigrants brought with them to America, and to keep that heritage alive in my children and grandchildren. A heritage that at its core is built upon supportive and loving families, a strong work ethic, and a devotion to our Catholic faith. I take pride in celebrating who I am and paying respect to my ancestors who helped to define me, just as I'm sure each of you celebrate your heritage and never forget those who provided it to you. Unfortunately, today it's becoming fashionable in certain segments of our society for people to promote the idea that there should be no such thing as hyphenated Americans. They frown upon the use of the terms African American, Latino American, Korean American, Italian American, or any other type of American. They argue we should all just be referred to as Americans, of course, in the context that they themselves choose to define that term. But next time you hear that argument being advocated, remember, what we are being asked to do is to erase an important part of who we are, the part of ourselves that makes us different, the part of ourselves that makes us unique, the part of ourselves that makes us special. I believe we should never let anyone rob us of any part of what makes us the person God created and intended each of us to be. And so I thank this wonderful committee for creating and maintaining this exceptional program. that allows all of northeastern Ohio to both celebrate and share the diversity that has made our community so vibrant and so exciting. And I thank all of you for celebrating our community's diversity with us this evening. Thank you. One last comment. I believe I forgot to make mention of the members of the Italian sons and daughters who came out this evening. There are 125 people here representing the Italian sons and daughters of America. Included in the group is our Ohio Vice President Marie Frank, our District Council President Joe Frank, along with many national officers and lodge presidents. To each ISBA member present tonight, I want you to know that I greatly appreciate and support. I greatly appreciate the support you've extended me over the years and that you extend to me again this evening. My heartfelt thanks to all of you for coming out to speak.